You're a leader. That means you probably have tons of ideas, tons of projects, tasks, initiatives, things that you want to inspire to happen for your team, your department, or your company to be successful. In order to really do that and make those things actually happen, you need the support, the engagement, and the action from those around you, from your team. So we're here today to talk about one overarching strategy with a couple of different examples about how you can increase your team's buy-in to projects and therefore make it more likely that the project will get across the finish line. Now, there's lots of things that we could talk about that you do on a day-to-day, a monthly, yearly basis that increase the likelihood that your team will take action. Relationship development, emotional intelligence, clarity, strategy, process management, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to talk about those. Today we're going to go simple. You have a project, you have a presentation of some sort, you're showing it to your team and you're saying, hey guys, here's what we need to do. The tip that we have for you today is how to make that presentation and the actions that come from it actually work for you, for your team, and ultimately for the success of the project. So here's the overarching tip. When you are presenting that, when you are getting the buy-in from your team, ask open-ended questions. What does this mean? A closed-ended question, the alternative to an open-ended, is something that ends in a yes or no answer. A classic would be, do you understand? The question, do you understand, has one, two, maybe a few shades of gray answers. I either yes, do understand, or no, I don't. There's not room for dialogue, there's not room for engagement, there's not an exchange of ideas. It's just a yes or no, it's bilateral. An open-ended question, on the other hand, leaves room for the person to fill in the blanks. It doesn't have a yes or a no answer. These questions typically start with either the words what or how, sometimes where or why, but oftentimes what or how. They never start with the word do or are you. Those things where if you finish those sentences, it's yes or no. The benefits to open-ended questions are your team, or anyone that you're talking to for that matter, then has a chance to insert their own opinion, to ask their own questions back, to give you meaningful feedback, and you have a chance to understand more about where they're at, where they're coming from. I don't mean that in an emotional sense, I mean as it relates to completing the project. So asking open-ended questions will dramatically increase your team's engagement with what it is you're doing, but also get you feedback that you need for the project to be successful. We have 3 favorites of these golden gems, open-ended questions, when it comes to rolling out a project that we'll share with you today. There are many more that can be very effective. But number 1, primary example, what questions do you have? I've just finished presenting. We have this big vision, this dream, this project, this deliverable. I've laid it out. It's very clear in my mind. Remember that. You've thought about it a lot more than anyone else at that table or in that room, more than likely. You know things that they don't know. So when you finish, or even better, in chunks throughout your presentation, throughout your delivery of the information, check in. Say, what questions do you have? This not only allows your people to tell you what they don't understand and search for those opportunities for clarity, but it also gives them the opportunity to pause in their own mind, stop trying to keep up with the information that you're giving them, and actually integrate what it is that you've said. You'll get a lot of information from how they respond to this in terms of what they're picking up on, what ideas they have, and where you may need to spend more time to make the project effective. Question number 2. I love this one. This one might be my favorite. What problems am I, the leader, not seeing? This question is so powerful. When we ask this question, we're inviting those around us to provide constructive, solution-oriented criticism to whatever it is we just laid out. If we don't ask a question of this nature, it can be really hard for folks, especially if they report up to us, to talk about where they see problems, where they see risk, where they have concerns. By opening up this space, we're letting our team know, 1, we value you, we trust your opinion, and we are garnering the type of feedback, the hard to say, the critical, the there's a risk around the corner, that is likely to make the project much more effective. If you've done a good job at building your team, the people that are at that table with you hopefully are much better at their respective roles than you are. They know things in their department, their sphere of influence, that you don't know. So by asking this question, what problems am I not seeing, you're inviting that open feedback. You're bringing them in. And now they're also responsible, simply by being in dialogue, to solving it, to coming to a solution with you. So what questions do you have? What problems am I not seeing? And number 3, probably never leave a meeting without asking this one. How can I support you? It seems so simple, but how can I support you? Your people are going to be a part of making whatever this project or initiative is happen. We need to know what they need. This does a few things. It, of course, makes them feel valued, makes them feel less afraid or alone or any of those negative things that can come up and prevent folks from really digging in. But it also lets you know as a leader if they say, hey, the support I need is training. I need a different office space. I need more of your time. It lets you know what you're going to need to plan for, be that in the budget or in your schedule, etc., to make the project happen. So ask open-ended questions. Do that to both increase the buy-in as well as increase the project efficacy. And try these 3 examples of what questions do you have, what problems am I not seeing, and how can I support you?